let's talk about on-call. That relentless stress is literally breaking the backbone of modern tech ops. I'm talking about site reliability engineers, and there's a huge crisis brewing that, believe me, impacts every single service you use. Today, we're not just going to talk about the problem. We're going to lay out the exact actionable solution. Okay, let's just start with the number that should make every CTO and engineering lead sit up and pay attention: 70%. That is 7 out of every 10 SREs who are either burning out or just quitting their jobs, period, because of on-call stress. This isn't some small trend. This is a systemic failure. And behind that statistic are real people. This quote from Reddit, it just says it all, doesn't it? The constant anxiety, the destroyed sleep, the personal cost, it is immense. This isn't just about losing an employee. It's about the human toll of the way we're currently running things. So what if the very complexity that got us into this mess also holds the key to getting us out? What if AI could just absorb all that alert fatigue, predict incidents before they even happen, and, give SREs their lives back? That is exactly what we are going to explore. We're going to cover the whole picture, from the burnout crisis and the insane cost of downtime, all the way to the AI revolution. We'll look at tools, a clear roadmap you can actually use, and, super important, how to justify this investment to your boss. Let's dive in. All right, first up, let's really dig into the SRE burnout crisis, because it goes way, way deeper than just one shocking statistic. Just look at these numbers. The average security ops team gets almost 4,500 alerts a day. It is physically impossible to investigate all of them, which is exactly why 2/3 just get ignored. But here's the terrifying part. 61% of teams admitted they ignored an alert that later blew up into a critical incident. This is not about bad engineers. This is a broken system. It's pure survival mode. The real takeaway here is that alert fatigue isn't just background noise, it is a direct path to major outage. Now, let's connect that human cost directly to the company's bottom line. The financial impact of all this constant firefighting, it is absolutely staggering. For a large enterprise, every single minute your service is down costs almost $24,000. Just think about that for a second. By the time you've even read an alert and opened your laptop, thousands and thousands of dollars have just vanished. Okay, now let's scale that up. An hour of downtime, we're now talking about a $1.4 million problem. That's the kind of number that literally changes quarterly earnings reports. The pressure to fix things fast isn't just technical, it is intensely financial. And when you look at it globally, the scale is, well, it's almost hard to believe. $400 billion. That is the collective price the world's top companies pay for unplanned downtime every single year. This is not a niche issue. It is a massive economy-level drag on productivity and innovation. And hey, this affects everyone, whether you're a mid-market SaaS company losing up to $100,000 an hour or a huge enterprise. The numbers are serious. And this doesn't even touch the hidden costs, like the $150,000 it takes to replace a senior SRE who finally just burns out and leaves. So, we've got a human crisis and a financial crisis. The solution lies in a fundamental shift in how we think. We have to move from being reactive firefighters to being proactive problem solvers. And that shift is powered by AI. This slide right here shows the core change perfectly. The old way is waiting for the pager to scream at you, then you're manually digging through endless logs. The new AI-powered way is all about predicting anomalies before they even trigger alerts, automatically gathering all the context you need, and even generating and testing fixes all on its own. It's about getting ahead of the problem instead of always being behind it. Now, this isn't some fantasy theory. This is a real-world case study from a company called FinTrust. By putting in ML-based anomaly detection, they slashed their mean time to resolution, that's MTTR, the average time it takes to completely fix an incident, from 22 minutes all the way down to just 4 minutes. That's an 85% reduction. And that's the kind of change that saves careers and honestly saves companies. Okay, so you're sold on the idea. But how do you actually make this happen? Let's get practical and talk about choosing the right tool for your team. First thing you have to understand is the landscape. The tools pretty much fall into two main camps. You've got AI-assisted tools, which are like helpful co-pilots. They reduce the noise, they summarize alerts. But then you have true AI platforms, and these are the real game changers. They can autonomously investigate, they can self-heal, and they can automate up to 80% of the entire incident response workflow. Here's a look at some of the key players out there. You have the established enterprise platforms like Datadog's Bits AI, and these really cool Slack native solutions like Incident.io. But for those of you who need control over your own data, and that's a big deal, there are powerful open source self-hosted options like Incident Fox and the Kubernetes native KJaint. Each one has its strengths. It just depends on your environment and what you really need. I know, getting started with this might seem like a huge project, but it really doesn't have to be. There is a clear, phased roadmap to get you from that state of alert chaos to automated calm. I promise, this is achievable. Let's walk through the steps together. We start with a solid foundation of observability. You have to see what's going on. Then you integrate your AI tool in a safe, read-only mode. Let it just watch and learn. From there, you graduate to AI-assisted responses. And only then, after you've built trust and tuned everything, do you enable autonomous remediation for simple, low-risk actions, like restarting a pod. It is a crawl, walk, run approach. And it is absolutely crucial to do this safely. You never, ever give an AI the keys to the kingdom without serious guardrails. This means things like mandatory human approval for critical changes, automatic rollback logic if a fix fails, and strict limits on the blast radius of any automated action. Safety and trust are everything here. Okay, so you see the value, but how do you convince your manager or your CFO? Let's arm you with the exact data you need to make an undeniable business case. Look at this. It's a real-world calculation for a mid-market company. By cutting down incident resolution time, eliminating investigations into false alarms, and this is the critical one, preventing just one senior engineer from quitting, this company saves over $600,000 a year. These are not soft, fuzzy numbers. This is hard ROI. And that example, it's not an outlier. The proven ROI for these platforms ranges from over 300% to well over 1,000%. The investment pays for itself many, many times over, often within the first year. It's honestly one of the clearest financial wins in tech today. Look, the SRE burnout crisis is real, but the good news is it's solvable. The tools are here, the business case is undeniable, and the path to a healthier, more effective operations team is clear. So the final question really is, how much longer are you and your team going to wait to reclaim your nights and your weekends? Thanks for watching.